You know what that means.
It's lip blush time.
Woo!
It's going down. Hi everybody, this is Christina Frazier, and I do all of the permanent cosmetics at AesthetiCare Leewood. And this is Marty, my model, our wonderful model. And so I just want to start with Marty. Maybe she's real excited about getting this treatment. So what were some things that you were excited about with this treatment?
First of all, having my lips
now wait a
down.
minute. Okay, first of all, her lips are numb, so she's gonna sound crazy.
So let's say it later.
Okay, so first of all, what we did was we included in the service in when we do any lip treatment, permanent lip, cosmetics, we're going to do, the nurse is going to do some injections, and then what that does is it blocks all the nerves so that you don't feel anything. And that's really important because, the lips have a lot of nerve endings, as we all know. And so by having a nurse block you, it just makes it a real pleasant treatment, and you'll see. And so what we've done is we've gone ahead and mapped out the lips, and then I put concealer around it just so I can see my line really carefully. And then since Marty can't talk, I'll talk for her.
Thank you.
She had said that she was really interested in the lip blushing, which is what we're doing today, because she can't keep lipstick on. She puts lipstick on and then it just, it's gone. So we will have her before pictures. When we edit the video, we'll show you this before pictures. But what I noticed with her, what I noticed with her lips was that she actually has a pretty good lower lip color, but her upper lip had pretty much was quite a bit lighter and very faded in color. And that's pretty common. A lot of my clients, they lose their vermilion border. So what that means is like their lip kind of is skin color. And then I also have clients that have filler. And if you think of a balloon, if you blow up a balloon and it's like red, it starts to be light red when you blow it up. That's kind of what happens with filler. A lot of times people will start to lose some color when they have filler. And then another thing that happens is sometimes people, they have some, they get some cold sores, and their vermilion border gets very, has some scar tissue, so it gets kind of white and it's not very, very clear. So this treatment will correct all of that. Lip blushing is a little bit different than lip color, because lip blushing is just sort of a natural flush of color. And then the full lip color is more of a lipstick type. So today we're just going to do like a little bit of a flush of color. So we already have.
I do have filler.
You do have filler, yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So you can do this with filler or without filler. It doesn't matter. And so so this is the color that I always ask people to show me a color that they use on the daily. Obviously, we're not wanting like yellow or fuchsia or whatever. We want a daily color to match. And then of course, if you want to wear a lipstick, a special occasion, an unusual color, you can, but we're trying to match a daily color. And this is the color that Marty brought in to me. And so these are some of the colors. This was the color that that we thought matched really well. But then she also saw this color and she kind of liked this color too. So, so I kind of blended these colors together. I customize all the colors for my client. And I don't know if you can tell, but even though this one is a little bit more of a wine color, they're still kind of in the same family. So that still works. And because she uses this on a daily basis, we know it's going to match really well. So that's what we did. And then, so now I'm going to go ahead and glove up, and then we're going to do the outline. Do you guys have?
So I'm curious, what did Marty have to do to prepare for this treatment today?
No, I ibuprofen.
Well, Christina can talk.
Yeah,
since you're so
you sound crazy.
Yeah, you do.
Then anytime, whether you get a treatment from me or any of the injectors in the face, you always want to think about anything that thins the blood, and that would be ibuprofen, alcohol. If you take fish oil, you want to discontinue that a few days before. And you can have your normal caffeine in the morning, but just don't have extra in the afternoon. All of those things I mentioned will thin your blood, and then that can cause you to swell and to be more uncomfortable. So we're going to do the outline right now, and what I've already told Marty is that even though she's blocked, sometimes people have a little bit of breakthrough pain, sometimes in the corners and sometimes up here at the Cupid's bow. So if she feels that she's it's a little bit more pinchy in certain areas, then we'll take note of that, and then we'll just ask one of the nurses to come in and just inject her again, just so she's super comfortable.
We like super comfortable.
Okay, ready for another question?
Uh-huh.
All right. So here we go. How long is this going to last?
So for most of my clients, the vast majority of my lip clients, they don't need a color refresh until 3.5 to 4 years, typically. Now, if you have a really dark, saturated color, you might need a refresh closer to the 3-year mark. But most of my clients want more of a natural color, more of a softer color. And in that case, it's usually 3.5 to 4 years before they want the color refresh.
And do you usually need more than one treatment to get to that level, or is it just usually one time?
No, anytime you get permanent makeup, you always want to have 2 appointments. And what that is it's because with me anyway, we want to be conservative at the first appointment, and then see how you heal. And then at the second appointment, which is what we call the perfection session, which is 6 weeks after the first, that's where we can kind of tweak it. The client's lived with the treatment, whether it's brows, liner, or lips. She's lived with it for a while. She can kind of decide. Most of the time people are really nervous, and so they tend to want to go on the lighter side. But then after they've worn it for a while, they might want to add a little bit more color, and we're able to do that at no charge because they have a second appointment already, included. So also sometimes people heal a little bit lighter on the lighter side, so we can also address that at the second appointment if we need to add more color.
Yeah.
I can attest to that from my brows. It's like you first get them done, they look so dark, and you're like, whoa, Nelly, and then not too long after that, you're like, actually, I want them a little darker.
Yeah, right.
You're like, I kind of like the way this looks now.
And the reason for that is because the ink is on top of the skin, and so, okay, Marty, we're gonna get started here.
All right, we're gonna start getting a little. So it sounds and looks like a tattoo.
It is.
Figure out the tattoo.
It is a tattoo, but it's not like, like you're a sailor getting an anchor on your arm or anything like that. So if permanent makeup's done correctly, the machines and the inks that we use are different. The machines are calibrated for the face. And what that means is that my machine has less power, and it has a little bit different calibration than if I'm trying to put ink into like your arm or your leg or something like a regular tattoo artist. So I always tell people in the old days, like in the 2000s, when permanent makeup came to the United States, a lot of artists, because of our licensing laws, they came from the body art side, and they were doing like brows and lips and liner using body machines. And that gave that very fakey Groucho Marx look that everybody's afraid of. That's where that came from. It looks very tattooy.
Right.
And it's because their machines were calibrated for the like your arm and your leg. They went way, way, way too deep into the skin. But in modern times, if you're doing it the proper way, you're doing it more superficially. So it just is more like makeup. It heals to look more like makeup, and it's a lot softer.
Right. So speaking of makeup, now that you're applying this pretty mauve-y color, let's say come Christmas she wants to wear a bright red, how would that affect the color over her blushing technique you're doing today?
It wouldn't affect it. It's all the same. It's just, if it's just like anything else. I mean, you have your natural lip color, and then I always tell people, if you're going to wear that, dark, bright red Christmas sweater, you just get pigmented lipstick or lip gloss, and it will go right over your,
Same as it would before.
yeah, exactly the same.
Perfect. And you did mention you can have lip filler or a lip flip before or after this treatment. Is there a certain amount of time that they would want to buffer that so they're not doing too much at one time?
Yeah, it just depends. What I always tell people, I'm a little sorry, I lost my line. My bed is in my room is exactly the opposite of this setup. So my hands are a little,
Giving you a learning curve.
yeah. So it's like anything. You want to be sure that if you're somebody who gets lip filler on a regular basis, you don't have to worry about that. It's if you're new, like if you have never had lip filler before, that's where you want to definitely give it 3 weeks to a month between getting your first filler and seeing a leak.
Got it.
But if you keep up with your lip filler, you get it pretty regularly. Just like Botox and brows, you don't really have to worry about that because the position is pretty much going to stay the same. But if it's new, especially at AesthetiCare, we're always really conservative for new people. So you might want a little more filler. So, you want to make sure you've got the right amount of filler before I start to work on your lips with the permanent lip color.
Right.
Makes sense.
So what's the pain level right now?
0.
0.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just checking my line just to make sure that we're going. So this line looks a little bit bold right now, but when it heals, it will not look bold. It's just going to look like just her lip. It won't look like an outline. We're just creating the outline so that I can kind of fill it in with the blushing.
So it'll look pretty like dramatic colored today, and then how long does it take till it looks like the lightened, more finished product?
So lips are a little different than eyebrows or eyeliner because the lip tissue is actually a muscle. So when I don't know if you've ever had like a fat lip, it can be pretty bright cherry red, or sometimes it can go kind of purpley. So the irritation, when I'm using the needle on the lips, it kind of irritates the skin. So it can kind of make the color look a lot brighter or a lot darker for several days. But then once that irritation kind of settles down, then that's when the color will start to come through. And the color that we've chosen is going to be the color that it ultimately will heal as. But it just takes a few days for the color, like a week for the color to completely settle.
Got it.
But you don't look, sometimes you can look like a brat doll. You can look a little bit crazy for the first day or two. Some people more than others, but when we're all done, I'm going to give her some ice packs if she ices it when she gets home. Usually by the next morning, it's about 50%. The swelling's about 50% down. So you might look a little bit weird and need some social downtime for maybe at the most 2 days, but probably more like 24 hours.
Okay. And then other than icing, what is there home care?
Yes, and I'm going to give her the home care when we're done, and so she gets a special wash that has antibacterial properties to it, and then she's going to get a special lip treatment that is very moisturizing. So she has everything that she needs when she leaves. She doesn't have to go buy anything or anything like that.
Got it. And then will she just be a little sore, a little tender, similar to like what a lip filler, you kind of notice it a little bit?
No, most of my clients, when they come back, they don't say anything about that. They don't, everybody, the only thing people sometimes complain about with lip color is that they will have some flaking for multiple weeks after, but that is only if they started the treatment with very dry skin.
Okay.
So now when I do a consultation, I make sure that the client pre-treats by drinking lots of water and using a non-petroleum based lip product. So whether you get this lip treatment with me or not, one thing that the audience can take away is that a lot of times people are using petroleum-based lip products. And petroleum-based lip products, they prevent moisture from getting into your lips. So you just kind of get addicted to using them, but they make your lips drier. So you want to use something that has like the EOS, the kind that comes in the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good brand. It has oils and things in it that are the molecule small enough it actually gets into the skin and moisturizes the lips. So I just tell my clients to pre-treat. If they have scaly lips, I have them actually use a lip scrub. And then by the time they see me, their lips are in good shape and then they're good to go and we don't have a lot of flaking.
Nice. Have you ever had someone come to you that has lip color on their lip already, like an old previous work that maybe they want you to go over the top?
Yeah, I do a lot. I have a lot of people that I do a lot of fix work. And not as much for the lips as for the brows. But the main thing with that is the only thing I can't really work over is if somebody has had something called titanium, which is a white. I haven't had a lot of people who've come to me that have had that because that's a pretty old
Technique.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Like those people had it done maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Lip white?
Well, like let's say you wanted pink, like a baby pink. So pink would have a lot of white in it.
That makes sense.
In permanent makeup, white and carbon black are two things that we want to be careful with. And the reason is the titanium white has a very big molecule, and if you implant too much in the skin, it repels any other color. So really the only thing you can do with that is removal.
Got it.
But in general, like I've had clients come to me where it's just faded and I can absolutely work over that.
So let's say I'm watching right now and I'm like, oh, so Christina's so smart. This looks so great. What is their next step? Like for a consultation, or what should they do if they're watching and they're interested in talking to you?
Yeah, you created a really great form on their website, which is Great Skin KC. Isn't that right?
GreatSkinKC.com.
That's it.
And you just fill that out, and I just need to see some pictures. And I like to see pictures with makeup on and with makeup off, but it's not as important with the makeup on with the lips as it is with the brows and the liner.
Yeah.
And then once I get those pictures and I have your contact information, then I just do a phone consultation with you, and it's just real low key, and I'm able to answer any questions that you have, and I can ask you some specific questions, and then from there we can just kind of decide what treatment would be best for you. So lip blushing is kind of a wash of color. I'll be able to start doing the blushing here in just a second. But sometimes people have a lot of asymmetry with their lips, or they have, a lot of, like their skin is older and they have a lot of lines around their lips, or one side of their lips is smaller than the other side. Or sometimes people have dark lips and they want me to correct that and make them more uniform. Sometimes people who have a lot of melanin in their skin will have a darker upper lip and a lighter bottom lip. All of those treatments require different, we can't do lip blushing with that because that's more of a correction kind of a process. And so that's what we determine at the consultation.
Got it. But you can address all of those things. It just might not be lip blushing.
Exactly, right. Yep.
So yeah, on our website at greatskinkc.com, we have a permanent makeup section that goes over the eyeliner, lips, and brows. And there is a consultation virtual that's specifically for permanent makeup. So if you're interested, you can fill that out, and it goes right to Christina.
So Marty, you're doing okay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Marty thought she kind of felt something a little bit when I was doing the drawing. But sometimes I told her sometimes when I'm actually doing the inking, you don't feel it. So it seems like she's maybe not feeling it now.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, it looks like she's sleeping.
Looks very great. All right, we'll sign off. We're going to show some after photos.
Yep, we will share the results, and we'll obviously share Marty's before and after when she's all done.
And the
So you-
consultation's free. Everybody wants to know that.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
the consultation is free.
It's free.
Do you?
And we can do in-person consultations also. I mostly do virtual consultations, but if for whatever reason you want to do an in-person consultation, I'm happy to do that for you. And then if you've had permanent makeup before, then I do ask that you do come in and I can see you in person. So we got the outline, and I don't know if you want to just watch me do a little bit of the.
Oh, sure.
We can just do a little
So
bit of the
outline
filling.
is step one, which looks really pretty.
That's step one, and it looks very, very bold right now, but a lot of that too is just irritation. Once it's healed, it'll be very, very soft. And so now we're going to.
Hey Marty, will you look over here so we
Yeah.
can?
I would smile, but I can't move my lips.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay, let's do this.
So now I'm just kind of what we kind of call this whip shading.
So how is this differing from the line?
So what I'm actually doing is I'm just sort of creating like light pixels of color. So the machine is creating little tiny little holes. And I'm just sort of like, if you think of an airbrush or misting of color, I'm just kind of going over it. So this is what a lip blush would be. It's kind of similar to lip gloss. We're letting some of her natural lips color come through. Whereas if it was more of a lipstick, it would be more solid. So I'm just kind of putting peppering of color.
And do you have to go over that several times, or is it kind of like a one and done?
Usually we go over it, usually it's 2 times. And then maybe one little mini pass just to kind of cover some little details that we've missed.
Okay.
For lip blushing. For color correction or for more of a lipstick look, it's a lot more
Extra passes.
yeah, more passes, because we're trying to get those pixels more close together, so that they're very close together and there's less of her lip color showing through for more of a lip color.
Right, and deeper, more intense color.
And I can kind of show you, you can kind of see, I told you before her bottom lip had more color than her top lip. Her top lip was pretty pale. And can you see the difference where I colored it and then where we haven't colored it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for her bottom lip had some color, more color, but this top lip was very, very pale.
So will your technique change when you go to do the bottom lip?
No, not really. I just might just be a little bit more light-handed on it, but in the end, what's going to happen is all of her lips are going to look the same tone, and that's kind of probably part of the reason that she wanted to get this done. She probably didn't even realize that, but that her top lip was so much pale.
Right, compared to her other.
And then when she puts lipstick on, the top smears because it comes off. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have a lot of clients, that like go to the lake or whatever, have an active lifestyle. And that's another thing they really like about the lip blushing. It just gives them a little bit of color. And they just put some lip gloss on and they're out the door. And it's nobody's thinking, oh my God, they've got a lip tattoo.
Right.
They just think, oh, wow, they just got kind of a fresh, pretty pretty lips that have a nice outline, a nice defined border.
Right.
Right.
Especially with all people wearing masks so much more, like avoiding that smear
Yeah,
that
totally.
can happen
Mhm.
with color. Well, looks great.
Looks awesome.
Marty looks very relaxed.
I know.
Are there any other FAQs that you get asked all the time, Christina, that we could just address?
I think the main thing people are confused about is, well, people always think it's going to be really painful, and they're always scared about that, which clearly it's not.
Still at a 0.
But I think the other thing is people think that, you know, when I say lip color, like, you know, permanent makeup lip color, they automatically think I'm going to be doing like bright red lips or something like that. And most of the permanent makeup that I do is very naturalistic. So even though this is actually, she just chose pretty bold color actually. Most of my clients choose a little bit more muted tone, but because I'm doing it so light, when it heals, it will not be like dark like this.
Right.
So I can control with the client's input, we can control how much saturation of color we have. So we don't have to have it be like bright red crazy lips. You know, we can make it soft and natural looking, which is what most of my clients want.
Right.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if you guys have any more questions, but we can make sure you stay tuned in a little while to see what her healed results are.
Yes, we will for sure share the whole process so you can see exactly what Marty looks like. All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, here we are, we're gonna call it 3-ish, I guess, since today's Sunday. We had the lip blushing on Thursday. Was trying to find a place in my house with okay light, and I settled on my closet. So, here we are. I think we're gonna start peeling. I can see some loose skin, a little tender still, a little bit, and I'm following my instructions that Christina gave me, and one of them is interesting. Try not to get toothpaste on your lips. Try that one. It's a challenge, but I'm trying, using the lip balm, following all the instructions. All in all, went to a party last night, got nothing but compliments on my lips, even though I feel like they're still a little bit swollen. I got some, I feel like, extra wrinkles here from my swelling that I'm sure will calm down over time. All in all, pretty pleased, real pleased.